Look.
Listen.
Taylor.
Welcome to Look, Listen with Geese Guyera. Also Taylor. Episode 76. This week, we're going to discuss Pokemon, specifically Paldean wins episode 2, and other things. Hello, Geese.
Hi.
Geese Pete, you weren't here last week. How about you let the Clambos know what's up with Geese? The new segment.
When is this episode coming out?
Not for a while.
Okay. Well, I don't know when they last recorded their episode together, but the past week and a half, I've been in Florida with my parents. Barely get to go to the beach because I have to work during the day. And because it gets dark so early, I don't have time. But on the weekends, I went kayaking and I saw a manatee.
That's so sick.
The manatee was not
doing anything wrong is the only way you can finish that sentence.
He was not pleased with my presence. I've never seen a manatee do this, but he kept flapping his tail to like a warning to like get away from him. And like manatees are usually very chill animals that do not care. So anyway,
he's probably in a bad mood.
Yeah,
probably.
That time of the year.
I saw him, and I saw a bald eagle kayaking.
Bald eagle with his little talons in a kayak, and he had a little raft in his beak.
I wish. The bald eagle nest.
How do you keep seeing bald eagles?
The bald eagle nest is right near the kayak landing thing.
They call it bald eagle kayaking.
There's no. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, but listen here, guys. I also went to the Corkscrew Swamp Sanctuary to look at birds, and I don't know what's going on, but there are barely any birds. We went, there were like
in the
barely
middle
any
of
birds.
winter. That's crazy.
Well, they should be coming to Florida during the winter. I guess we're just too early.
No, you're too late. They're already in Central America. Yeah,
Panama.
In Panama.
No,
by the canal.
They come here too.
No, they don't.
They should also be migrating, so like they'll pass through.
They're getting shaked down. They're getting shook down at the border.
Shaken. They're getting shook. How many alligators did you see?
Oh, several. There's okay, so my parents' condo, there's a pond right nearby, and there's this gator that will like chill out in sun. It's like a mid-sized gator. And there's like other baby gators, and then we saw a large gator at the swamp sanctuary. But yeah, lots of gators.
Were you kayaking in the water with gators? I can't say gators with a straight face. Alligators?
Before, yeah, but they were small.
Hey,
but not this time.
Look,
listen.
Big news for Florida. What with the new Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer? People losing their minds.
Florida's good, and that's my story. Wow. And I didn't get sunburn.
Hey, shouts
out. Ooh, good job.
Sunscreens, shouts out. Shouts out to the sunshine.
But I do have a sty.
No, Geese, Clambos, mail, send your emails to looklistencast@gmail.com. Give Geese Peep advice on styes and your support during these trying times.
Yep. Aw.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Clambos, we're moving on along. It's time for watching, playing, eating. Oh,
Goofin.
Oh, Lord. Let's hear all I got to say this week. I watched the film Holdovers. Now, was I pleasantly surprised with this film? Yes, because poor Holdovers, as you'll remember from last week or perhaps week prior, I watched so many movies recently, and poor Holdovers got held over until the next week because I ran out of free movies from AMC A-List.
Hit a sound effect there, Geese.
I don't have one.
You can make one.
Perfect. Yeah. So I was already into the marketing for this movie because if you saw the trailer for it in the theaters, the trailer was constructed exactly like a 1970s trailer with the film grain and the announcer voice and the editing styling of like holding on a freeze frame. It was perfect 70s. And then I get into the movie theater and it's the exact same with a long intro with all the credits at the front It's set in 1971. It's a good movie. Paul Giamatti's incredible in it. I was going to compare it to Licorice Pizza, but maybe it's not fair because of the conditions I saw Licorice Pizza under. Just the absolute most amazing way to see it in that pre-release theater with the director there, no trailers, whatever. But it still did a great job in its 1970s vibe. It's a very sweet story. If you just watch the trailers, you're like, oh, this is going to be this goofy little comedy, but it's very heartwarming. I recommend anybody watch it. Okay, moving on. Can you two see the doc, what I have written next? Does anybody have a guess as to what that says? Test of the week for Geese and Taylor.
Tear down with Y-axis
No,
inversion.
the movie after Holdovers.
Oh.
Out of my Pokemon notes.
No, I don't.
Hang on. Let me guess. I have to
You
guess.
were kind of close.
Okay. All right.
Isn't that one like something?
But then you change it to what with the two
Holdover.
dash marks?
Oh, jeez.
So if it didn't have those little dash marks, it would be Co. But you see those two little quotation mark looking guys? So it changes Co to... No. It keeps the O, but it turns into Go.
Uh-huh.
Go?
Yes.
Godzilla?
You got it, Geese. Good work.
Good job,
Geese.
Geese.
Thank you.
Why is Lana Del Rey so loud outside? Can you shush?
She's a huge fan. Just let her in. We can have her on the podcast.
Who doesn't like Godzilla?
So, since I watched Godzilla -1, I started watching Gojira, the 1950-something film. I don't want to say the wrong date. It's probably 51 or 54. I didn't finish it, but that's okay. It was interesting, enjoyable. I was thinking to myself, wow, this is pretty good for the 50s. I can see how this really took off.
Was that the one where there's a very adorable little elderly gentleman offering Godzilla some tea and Godzilla steps on him?
I didn't get to that part, but that may be one of the sequels with Baby Godzilla or Mecha Godzilla or perhaps Mothra.
What? Oh, there was this one Godzilla villain that I loved named Biolante, and it was so scary looking.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Also, I saw a movie trailer for a film I want to see. Hopefully it's good. The name of the film is ISS, for International Space Station. And this is a good movie trailer because it starts off and it's just, oh, look, the Russians are coming into the International Space Station, meeting up with the Americans. Oh, isn't the International Space Station great? All the countries working together. And it just looks like this kind of cool, fun movie. And then it goes to the next shot of just the woman American astronaut looking down on the Earth and all these nuclear explosions going off in the United States.
Oh.
And then immediately there's a secret little meeting with the United States government, and they're saying, you guys gotta stop the Russians in there right now. And then they say, oh my God, but if we're getting talked to by our governments, the Russians must be getting talked to by their governments. It's such a neat premise for a movie.
That sounds like such a fun... I hope it's an action comedy.
It's not a comedy, but just the idea of Americans and Russians are in space supposed to be working together while there's a giant war between Russia and the United States.
And it's a bunch of scientists.
Yeah, that's so sick.
That's a
bunch of nerds who are not good at conflict.
Geese peep, please.
They're not good at conflict resolution, Geese.
We already talked about it in weeks prior, but everybody rush out and go see Poor Things. You know it's good when I keep thinking about the movie and seeing little videos of it and the music and the art and the colors and the world building. Everybody rush off. Go watch Poor Things. What a film. Does Geese have an enchilada? Oh, she's shaking her head yes and smiling and saying tee hee with a fork and a knife. Very stereotypical.
Tee hee. I don't know why, but the phrase tee hee always makes me laugh.
All right, let's keep ripping on along because I think we got a lot to go through. Let's hear about what I played in video games this week. Clay and Bo's looking... You gotta be kidding me that this video game Teardown released in the year 2023 on consoles, and it did not include Y-axis inversion. I thought I was the dumb one. I said, oh, I must be so stupid. I can't find the setting for it. And I searched and I looked and I started Googling and I see nonstop Reddit posts, Discord posts, Twitter posts, everything, talking to the developers saying, can we get some Y-axis inversion? Well, you're a big video game. Honestly, I'm. It's unfathomable to me that nobody on that development team is familiar with the fact that over 10% of video game players need Y-axis inverted. That's already insane. But it's double insane to me that Sony doesn't have that option in the custom controls. That's why I had to play Beyond Good and Evil on Xbox, because Xbox gives you a toggle that lets you swap the inversion on your right stick. But PlayStation does not let you do that.
I feel like Beyond Good and Evil may be the most overrated game I've seen and played personally.
Well, I never beat it, but that game was goofy because they had an inversion option, but it inverted both Y and X, and I can't have X.
What?
I can't have X inverted. I can only have Y inverted.
Who on earth would invert X?
So I had to leave it uninverted, but then on a system level, invert the Y up. And you could do that on an Xbox to play Teardown, but you can't do that on a PlayStation. So I had to sit here and wait like a month at least for them to put a patch out that added inversion. So I played a bit of that. It was fun, I guess. Played some Power Wash Simulator, the new DLC of when you get and clean up Final Fantasy VII vehicles inside of Shinra headquarters. It was kind of fun.
Are those good? Either of those?
Oh, you girls would adore Power. What do you mean either of those?
Well, I know they were both released as free releases, and the only thing...
What are you talking about?
Weren't those like PlayStation Plus games?
Both of those are, yes.
Yeah. So I was reading comments on the Wario 64 announcement, and everybody was disparaging the selection, which I was like, oh, yeah, that's funny. And people, of course, were saying, increase the price by however much they did. And these are the games that they're choosing to follow that.
No, PS Plus stuff has been good lately. They just announced today, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins is coming to PS Plus Extra this month, so we can play that.
Sick.
But anyway, what was I going on about? Oh, you would love Power Wash Simulator. You love therapeutic cleaning, so you would. Geese loves Power Wash Simulator. Tell him.
I like it.
So I wouldn't just sit there and do it as my only thing. You have to play that game while listening to a podcast or talking to somebody, but it's very therapeutic. Also been shiny hunting a ton of Flabébé in Pokemon Violet because for the big push towards the DLC coming out today. It's probably out by now and I'm wasting my time. Should be playing it later.
I'm a little Flabébé.
You tell them, Geese. And also, they shadow dropped at the Game Awards, Ragnarok Valhalla, the new DLC. Tried playing that for a little bit, but then quit to shiny hunt some more Flabébés. And I've been playing a bunch of Smash Ultimate Online the only way I know how while listening to the album Daft Punk Alive 2007. Very fun.
What a Game Awards.
It was bad.
Long.
I thought it was kind of fine. Like, some of the announcements were cool.
New Mana game.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I was not personally excited by it, but anytime something is dropped and they say it's available to play right now, I'm a fan. I say, successful Game Awards, we won. We did it.
Yeah, I haven't played the Final Fantasy 16 DLC yet because I don't have that many dollars. What?
Nothing.
What did you say, Keith?
I was just making fun of how you said because.
How did you make fun of me?
You said because.
Because.
He always says because.
Pecans.
I did not say pecans. I haven't played Final Fantasy 16 DLC pecans. I don't have enough PS bucks in my PS wallet. And I'm not about to spend PS dollars on non-discounted PS bucks. So I'm going to wait till I have more money to buy some Costco PSN bucks for discounted PSN bucks from a PlayStation bucks. From a
there
wallet.
you go.
Do they accept Kohl's Cash?
Probably.
If you mail it to them.
Moving on to my eating. Let's just run through these real quick. Had an incredible cheddar cheese fried egg hash brown bagel. Yum, yum, yum. I went to Olive Garden, where you're here, your family, Geese, and oh my God. Okay, the only reason I went to Olive Garden is because I saw an Instagram reel where they were at Olive Garden looking like they were having a wonderful time. So I immediately changed my plans and went there that day. These goofballs brought me out 2 breadsticks at a time. 2.
Whoa. Oh.
And this is after I purchased and paid money for the endless bowl of Alfredo dipping sauce for the breadsticks. So by the time I got my second batch of breadsticks, the Alfredo sauce was completely cold. Well, anyway, a boy there working shouts out. He said, "Is that a Mother shirt?" And I said, "Oh boy, are you in for it?" I said, "When did you discover the band?" And he said, 2020. And I said, "Oh yeah, that's when most Americans did." He didn't even know they were Canadian, which it makes sense for these little TikTok teens. They just, they think it's an American band like everybody else. When I told that boy my experiences with Mother, he was losing it. He was like, "You are their tour bus?" It was so cute. He was so excited.
That's sick.
I had to get him some guest passes next time they play over here. All right, Geese Peep. Now it's time to hear what you've been watching, what you've been eating, what you've been goofing.
Okay.
Gamers.
So I'll start with eating. I was so excited when I came here to eat a spicy falafel sub from Publix. I was so excited when I came here to Florida to get a pub sub, a spicy falafel pub sub. And the 2 times that we went to get it, they didn't have any falafel. But finally, the 3rd time, this morning, I was able to get one.
Yeah.
Was it worth the wait?
Geese did it for the audio listeners. She went.
It's true. It looked just like that.
I shrugged. Is it the best falafel? No, not even close.
Wow.
Is it?
Oh, do you have strong opinions about falafel?
Geese is the biggest falafel.
I love falafel.
Tell me what the best falafel is that you've ever had. Number 1, first base.
Falafel Queen Geese Peep. Go ahead.
I think we found like an actual good like Mediterranean restaurant in Madison, and they had a really good falafel.
Wow. Huh.
But anyway, the falafel sub, that was good. My parents just got me a verde enchiladas that I ate very quickly.
Oh, I love good enchilada.
Verde enchiladas.
Good old.
I can't speak.
Enchiladas.
It was fine. And then, in gaming.
Video
Wait. How's your stomach?
It was really bad last week, but it's getting a little bit better. Whenever I eat, I don't eat a lot.
Anyway, video game. We were moving on to video games of the geese.
Lego Fortnite came out, and I was playing that a little bit, and it's fine.
So it's a whole different mode.
Yeah.
But you can use all of your costumes?
Eventually, they plan to make Lego equivalents for all the skins, but not all of them are ready at this point. Fish stick ones are, though.
Wait, the ones they do have, it already gave you if you own them, or do you have to buy them again?
You already have them.
Okay.
The collaborations that I hear about when I hear about what Lego is doing currently would have blown my mind as a kid.
Oh, I thought you were going to say what Fortnite's doing, because I was about to say, listen, Fortnite has asked everyone for a collaboration. Mother's literally in Fortnite. And
I feel like we're going to start getting U.S. presidents in there.
And Epic has asked Nintendo so many times for their characters, and Nintendo keeps saying, "No, we're good. It's okay. We're good."
I can see how it's a lot of fun, kind of like Minecraft and a little bit of things from Valheim. It's surprisingly polished for something that just came out, but I think it could use more features, better building, inventory management stuff, but
that's the thing with Fortnite right now is it's not just the Fortnite team, because they got all these other studios working on all these different parts. The Rocket League part of it's being made by the Rocket League guys. Guitar Hero one's being made by Harmonix. So I'm guessing that the Lego part also has additional developers working on that.
Fortnite just never ceases to amaze me. It really seems like it's kind of falling into the same category as Amazon, where they started out in a specific niche and they were like, no, we're just good. Everybody's gonna just buy us.
They're really trying to compete with Roblox, which is similar in Fortnite, that there's a bunch of games that people make that you can play within that ecosystem. So they're really trying to be comparable to Roblox. Is my understanding of what's going on.
So my knowledge of Roblox is that they sell gift cards at Costco.
And the children love it.
I don't know anything about the game.
Most adults don't. There was some guy, though, who made a game at Roblox who went on to make a really popular game recently. Unfortunately, I don't remember off the top of my head, but Fortnite's huge. I wonder how long this will last. I mean, it's been several years now of just unbelievable amount of popularity.
I mean, it's been like a decade, huh?
They have record numbers of players, like logins right now because of these updates.
Good for them.
Some people want to argue that it's kind of sad that this younger generation is just playing Fortnite, unlike older generations that played a wide variety of games. But the way I look at it is it's not necessarily... all these kids who are playing Fortnite aren't necessarily the kids that would have played a bunch of RPGs and a bunch of Zelda, Naughty Dog, whatever. That's not necessarily the same market. It's just these kids use it like social get-together time, and they would be doing something else. That's not a video game if they weren't playing Fortnite.
I'd also argue that I think this is not a new thing, but Roblox and Fortnite base is free to play. And I couldn't play when I was a youthful child. I couldn't play a lot of different variety of games because games are expensive. So I had like 1 or 2 games I would continuously play, but I didn't get to try out a lot of stuff because I didn't have money.
Yeah, the only thing that ever makes me wary is when I hear
makes you weary?
Wary is how monetization can really skew different generations' tastes. So I worry that if these people who are like really, really aggressively monetizing something and trying to make something as addictive as possible are going to ruin a younger generation's appreciation for the medium later. I don't have any problems strictly with people playing one thing because there were whole generations there were whole groups who only play Madden.
Madden and Call of Duty.
Yep. Call of Duty was the next example I was going to use.
Excuse me.
So no, I mean, like, I agree. So I'm not opposed to people playing one game. It's just if they're addicted because of what the model of the game looks like, then that makes me concerned.
I think it's cleaner. So here's the long and short of it. Skins for Fortnite are obscenely expensive. That being said, the economy takes care of itself because the kids who don't have money aren't buying them, and the whales are paying for the kids to be able to play for free. It's that simple. So
sick.
And I don't think they're addicted to Fortnite. Most of them aren't addicted to Fortnite. They just like talking with their friends, and that's where they spend hours and time.
It's something to do, and you talk while doing it. And I'd also say that, like, I'd rather have, or I don't know, I have no evidence to back this up. I would think that a model like Fortnite, where the skins are more expensive, but you're guaranteed to get that skin, versus like Overwatch, where you have to do a loot box for a chance to get a skin, is probably a more healthier alternative.
So my only kind of, to clarify my previous statement, is that the only models that I've seen that I'm really referring to are models like Destiny, where it almost requires you to be addicted to it. And you hear all these stories. I certainly had this story personally where the last expansion came out. It was so bad. And I was like, yeah, I don't need to play this game. And my entire life improved after I stopped playing it.
All right. Well, does Geese want to talk about birds? And now for Geese to wrap up her looking, playing, watching, let's hear what she watched this week. Geese, go ahead. Take it away, Geese Peep.
While the swamp was disappointing, the local golf course had some great birding. So I've been running after work to look at the birds before it gets dark. I look like a maniac. I'm literally running around with my binoculars on a golf course, which I'm not allowed to be on.
That's adorable.
Just like looking at the birds. Ugh.
I understand rushing to get some sunlight, which unfortunately I do not believe I have time. Goodbye, sun.
I'll just say a couple of highlights. Some wood storks, rosette spoonbills, kingfisher, some blue-winged teals.
That's two colors, Geese. That's,
yeah, you
said
can't
two
like.
colors.
Oh, look, I have a red plumed blue.
Yeah.
I didn't name it.
Look at my green tipped sign.
A killdeer.
You can't kill a deer.
You killed
That's
a
not
deer?
bird. So let's move on to Taylor's. Please tell us something this week.
I
Well,
watched at least the first 45 minutes of the Keeleys. I don't know what it is. But I watched a lot of the trailers afterwards. Very excited for Monster Hunter Wilds. I am so excited. I haven't had a chance to play the FF16 DLC yet. I was going to play it the first night, and I had the same issue that everybody was having with the PSN store not working and what have you. So I couldn't download it. So I said, okay, I'm going to play Neo 2. Somehow ended up deep into Pokemon Violet, and that's all I've been playing.
Hopefully catching some shinies.
I haven't caught. I've caught maybe one, which is a Meryl. So you're going to have to give me some tips on how to properly shiny hunt, because I know I'm not min-maxing.
Wait till you get a shiny charm. But the outbreaks right now have great shiny odds with the Flabébés.
Flabébé.
Now, actually, is it time to move on to Poke News of the Week?
No! I decided to stop playing Neo.
Wow.
Got 180 hours. Love the game. I have reached probably the final stage of the last DLC, and I think I binged it a little too hard. So I realized, I'm not having as much fun as I was, and I keep watching Dark Souls videos. So it's finally time. I'm gonna complete Pokemon Violet.
Got him.
Wow.
Yep. That's all I'm playing. Eating. What have I been eating? Lots of popcorn. Wonderful.
Is it time for
Poke News of the Week?
Clambos, what are you doing? You should be playing the brand new DLC coming out today. The time of this recording. I don't know what day you're hearing this, but the new DLC is out. The Indigo Disc. Go explore Blueberry Academy in the Unova region. Why don't you go catch a Terrapagos? Also, to celebrate Paldean Wins, the show we're discussing today, you can go on Pokemon Violet right now and use the code CUINPaldea, and you'll get a little gimme ghoul. This gimme ghoul.
Gimme goomy Flabébé is what I have to say.
Gabagoo. This gimme ghoul is interesting because all of its IVs are the lowest they can be, which is actually kind of useful for competitive Pokemon battling because it's very easy to make a stat good with bottle caps, but it can be difficult to make a stat all the way bad. And I will explain to you, if you're unfamiliar with, why you would want a bad stat. So all the natures in Pokemon either are neutral or they make one stat go up and one stat go down. And so whenever you're building a strong poke, the natures you want are to increase the stat of either your attack or your special attack, depending on if it's a special attacker or physical attacker, and then lower the stat of the one you're never going to use, i.e. physical if it's a special if it's physical. But your attack stat still comes into play when you're hit with moves that make your Pokemon hit themselves, or you hit yourself in confusion or something. Goldango, you want his special attack super high, and then his attack IVs, you would like them low in competitive settings, so that way he doesn't hurt himself too bad with confusion or whatnot. So it's a good competitive poke. All right, now moving on. Ooh, goodness gracious, we're late to this one this week. It's time to listen to us discuss Pokemon, and this week it's Paldean Wins Episode 2. What is the name of this episode in English, Geese?
The name of this episode in English is Breathe In.
Or in Japanese,息をのむ. Geese missed last week. Geese, do you want to just tell us how you felt about the first episode? We're not going to go over it again, but the one with the flute and the mountain and the big ol' Titan chasing down Arvin down the...
And the abject horror of that situation.
I was curious to hear what your thoughts are.
You can listen to the podcast.
Is it even out yet?
No.
Yeah. I get that they're doing the whole lack of context as like a way to like keep people watching so you learn more, but I found it kind of jarring. And I found the editing and like the jumping back and forward in time kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Animation was cool.
Animation was very sick.
Lots of Dutch angles.
Ooh.
What, for the viewers at home, is a Dutch angle?
It's when you see from like the ground up. So in the beginning, when you're following the little guy and his perspective,
Gimme
it's
Ghoul.
kind of that. Gimme Ghoul. When we're watching Gimme Ghoul's perspective in the beginning, that's the Dutch angles. It was okay. I'm really curious about what her daddy issues are, and also, why was the principal just fine with her leaving school to go on a treasure hunt?
Well,
Like-
if you played Pokemon Violet, you know, Geese, that's literally their job is to go out all over Paldea for their treasure hunt. So
Yeah, geese.
now who's got egg on their face? On a scale of 1 to 10, a 40-point scale, what is your score for episode 1? Breathe out.
I don't know, 6.5.
Wowzers. All right, episode 2. We
Oof.
open with a crazy Nemona battle, and she's fighting against Aliquis.
Second one, animation's already going ham.
We got Meowscarada versus Kilowattrel. Geese, of course, you know Meowscarada, final evolution of Sprigatito.
That name is very funny to me.
What is it? Mouscarado?
Meowscarada.
Like masquerade and meow.
Meowscarada.
Leaf Storm! And then we immediately cut to, is this the past, the future? Who's to say with this series?
No one knows.
We see Aliquis shopping for potions with Meowscarada. I guess he's talking to his brother on FaceTime.
Yes.
Aliquis' brother.
His incredibly harsh, unforgiving, ruthless brother.
I should pull up their names again just so I don't goof their names.
It's very funny that he's just shopping next to a Pokemon who's just walking with him. Like the idea of Meowscarada pointing at something at once, but also standing upright and just standing next to.
He's too tall.
People are actually real upset when that Pokemon turned out to be bipedal. They wanted it to stay on 4 legs. Oh, well, what are you going to do?
We don't have enough bipedal Pokemon, I think.
We have plenty of bipedal Pokemon. What are you talking about?
Not enough. Name one. Exactly. You can't. Anyway, go on.
Lucario. Yeah, so, look, Aliquis is... Am I adding too many syllables there?
Yeah,
No,
there's
it's
no
Aliquis.
way you're not.
Aliquis' brother is at Blueberry Academy, shouts out DLC coming out today. What did I just mention? Blueberry Academy. Very
Ooh,
sick.
everybody go.
Tying it together.
Spend money.
It's in Unova. Taylor, did you see the ad for the game, like I told you?
Yes, I did. I waited this time.
Very sick. But actually, those ending, I don't know if they do it in English, Geese, but in Japanese, they always advertise the video game at the end of it, which the first time I saw it, I was like, okay. I mean, I knew this was an ad, but still to just make it that clear. But they make it cool because they say...
Can you send me the Japanese videos? Because I don't like these voice
Nope,
actors.
Geese, I'm sorry. We're all rotating. It was my turn this week to get the amazing Japanese audio.
Well, the thing is, Geese, we should have brought this up front, I guess. The whole point of our podcast, remember, was one of us has to watch it in Japanese and one of us in English.
There was a vote.
Well, there's 3 of us.
Yeah,
Right,
I voted for you because you were absent.
So,
Oh,
So-
that's how democracy works.
Yeah, exactly. It's called in
Okay.
absentia or something like that, I assume.
you can watch it in Japanese. You can all watch it in Japanese if you want, but I need at least one of you to watch it in English.
You have to
It's fine.
experience. We all have
can
to
rotate.
experience English at least once because there's such an interesting difference. And I think this is the big problem that I have with most English voice acting and why I like Japanese voice acting. Because originally, I thought it was just because I didn't know what they were saying. So they could be saying anything silly. And as long as it sounds sick, I would like it. It's because the Japanese audio, they give their actors distance from the microphone. So you're like, oh, I believe he's sitting at that table. Whereas the English audio seems to prioritize audio quality and clarity. So I'm just always hearing people from the same distance, and it just sounds like people in a sound booth.
They need better sound engineers then, or sound editors to do that, to fix that.
Yeah,
Huh.
but they can't speak Japanese, so they can't communicate well enough with the team actually animating and writing it. Anyway, Meowscarada wants some Kinder Egg Wonder Balls.
I thought those were bath bombs.
No, Geese, don't be silly. They're Wonder. Ooh. What's in a Wonder Ball? Oh, no, Geese. What do we hear from Aliquis's brother? What does he suggest he should do to win the big battle against Nimona?
Don't use Meowscarada.
He wants him to abandon his boy?
And it's not even in a normal human way. I thought that they were having there was some communication error, and brother was just like, oh, well, for that Pokemon, don't use Masquerada. Nope, he was saying, drop it, never use it again. Just ridiculous.
That sounds like a terrible idea to me. Don't do it, you don't abandon your starter.
I mean, it really does sound like a terrible idea. What's the pro? He'll eventually run out of Pokemon.
So we cut back to the school, Naranha Academy, as we can tell by the orange pants. We see some students talking. There's a Psyduck and a Gothorita, and Geese. We see a little Fido sleeping in the library, or as you like to call him, Puppy Mochi. Oh, hey, our main character, O'Hara. Is it Hara or Hera in English, Geese?
Hara.
Hara.
Okay. O'Hara.
Now, I want you to be honest with me. Did you forget that she was a person?
What do you mean?
I totally forgot about her ridiculous flute thing. And she just came up and she was like, my flute.
I recall.
Hard to forget the flute.
Hard to forget. So O'Hara's playing her flute with baby Fuecoco. And immediately she's interrupted by Aliquis, who busts in. And she apologizes for not participating in that video because she got all, weird and left and has the problem with her father and the relationship.
Yeah,
a lot of parental.
Some kind of angsty thing.
Aliquis, whatever. He just walks into the room, turns on his phone for an Iono stream on his little Rotom phone.
Which was exciting for me because I just fought Iono in Pokemon Violet.
Iono. I know. I know. Like, I know. That's the pun there.
That's what I thought it was.
Yep.
Because Ion.
Well, it's okay. O'Hara's going to play her flute.
Scarlet O'Hara.
Got him. Scarlet O'Hara is going to play her flute, and she's going to make the music for the big welcome video for everybody come to Naranha Academy. It's going to be great. Everybody's going to be wonderful.
She's very aggressive about this.
Hey, Geese, where's Sophocles? You tell me.
I think it's the same voice actor, too.
Oh, jeez.
No way. Don't lie.
Why?
Why would I lie? When we saw the character Homa for the first time, and Geese, Fuecoco, he's playing with the little case, and what's he trying to do?
Eat a berry.
It's not a real berry. It's just a little key charm.
Oh, the apple keychain?
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
Well, it's probably a berry. I don't think they have apples. Do they have
it's
apples?
an apple.
Are you telling me
Applin
that is based all around apples, and you collect all these tart apples, and he's going to evolve into a giant new apple dragon, Hydra? You're asking me, are there apples?
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Is that a yes? There are apples? I thought it would have just been a berry that looks like an apple.
No, they have apples.
Like a pineapple berry.
No. Anyway, Meowscarada looks real cute in this scene. Got his little chin and his little paws up on the table. Snoozing. O'Hara, at this point, is complimenting Aliquis's battling. But, Geese, what does Aliquis say about Fuecoco at this point? Completely uncalled for.
That he'll never want to battle?
What, just because he's a little bit head empty, his whole point?
He's just projecting.
He says being reliable isn't going to win you battles, but then O'Hara claps right back and says, not like you're winning any battles either. Geese. Aliquis gets so embarrassed. What does he do? The scoundrel.
That's its fault, and points to Meowscarada and calls it an it.
Oh my god.
Rude.
They didn't do that in Japanese, but
just imagine shifting blame. Imagine a dog trainer at a competition. The dog doesn't jump through a hoop, and the trainer screams out, that's the dog's fault.
Poor Meowscarada. He gets so upset, he slashes the whole giant bag of Wonder Balls open, and he runs off.
I was kind of laughing because imagine dealing with a runaway cat. Imagine trying to find a runaway cat that's also a ninja.
Yeah. And this next scene I wasn't crazy about because O'Hara was saying, are you going to go after him? And Aliquis just so nonplussed does not mean what I think it means.
Yeah,
but
it's a tricky one.
It's a trap, English learners. But Aliquis just starts eating a Wonder Ball. Doesn't even care. If you even care. You know that meme, Geese. It's real big on Instagram.
The thing is, there were a lot of silly things. Because when he was like, I'll find it later. I thought, yeah, that makes sense. If that doesn't want to be found, it's not going to be found. Also, within like 1 second, Sophocles opens the door and immediately Analquis is like, Meowscarada?
Analquis. Yes.
NyQuil.
Look.
Listen.
Aliquis is going on about how he's got to eat his Wonder Balls. It's a big old pre-battle tradition.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to get the sweet candies, but he keeps getting the spicy candies. And then when Sophocles and Quaxley jump in, immediately Sophocles is throwing a camera right in Aliquis's face, saying, why'd you lose? And Aliquis says, well, I'm not going to lose the next one. Thank goodness on camera the boy didn't say it was Meowscarada's fault. We can give him that, but come on.
Yeah. Kept his composure, kinda.
There's going to be a rematch. How exciting. Oh, my goodness.
I wonder how many times you can challenge somebody and still have students show up.
Well, isn't she the best? So
yeah.
She is a champion rank. So she basically, when you're a champion, that's something you got to deal with anyways. People because if you want to be a champion, you got to be a champion. So we get a flashback, Geese, to Aliquis with a little baby. What little baby is he with in the flashback?
Meow.
What Pokemon? Let's try that again. Let's try that one more time. Geese, what Pokemon is Aliquis with in this flashback?
Meow cat.
Do
you not know Sprigatito's name?
It starts with a Sprigatee.
Sorry, I was having a stroke.
See what episode of... So we're on episode 31 of Scarlet and Violet. So that's 31 weeks.
Sprigatito, of course.
Oh my god. Back when Meowscarada was still a baby Sprigatito. So sweet.
Which, these flashbacks just made me hate the brother. Because I'm thinking, your brothers raised this from a little baby Sprigatito. They've been bonding. It's been training. They've been getting stronger together. He's like, dump it. Dead weight.
And in the flashbacks, Sprigatito's giving little kisses. And then we cut to a battle. Aliquis starts sending out Garganacl, and he knocks out Nemona's Kilowattrel. Go, Paldean Tauros. Oh my god, the Tauros knocks out both Garganacl and Aliquis's Flamigo. And now, Geese, it's time for Aliquis to pull out his last Pokeball. And he pulls it out of his pocket, but what is it in his hand instead of a Pokeball?
It's the candy.
I was laughing so much during this scene because all these people showed up for this fight, and they just get to see Aliquis have a breakdown, start eating candy, and then someone shuts the lights off.
So it's a slashed open chocolate Wonder Ball, sliced open from Meowscarada, and then he remembers another flashback because this series loves doing the flashbacks back and forth because they really like a Lost, I suppose.
A nice non-linear story.
He remembers telling little baby Sprigatito that they're gonna get strong together, and then he opens up the Wonder Ball, and what's inside, Geese?
The good candy.
It's the grand prize, sweet candy. It's the same candy as when they first opened the candy ball together when he was still a baby Sprigatito.
Aww.
The glowing sweet candy. And he's so sorry. Geese, he feels so bad. He's crying. He's yelling for Meowscarada.
Does an anime scream?
Yes. He's eating the candy. Meowscarada was always by his side, Geese. And then O'Hara starts crying from the sidelines. Sophocles just starts filming this private, intimate moment of the tears. And then what Taylor said happens. Taylor, you can say it again.
The lights go out.
Oh my God, is the electricity out? Wait, no, a spotlight turns on. Geese, who do we see in the light?
It's not Persian geese.
In big geese peep energy, turns the lights off and then appears in a spotlight. Meowscarada. She's back.
In the middle of the battleground. And Aliquis is just apologizing. And Meowscarada eats the whole Wonder Ball. And then, just like Ash and Pikachu in the Islands of Alola performing Z moves, we see Aliquis and Meowscarada start to sync together as one. Oh
Whoa.
My God.
I do like how different the temperament of this Sprigatito is compared to Lico's Sprigatito.
You mean as a Meowscarada?
Yeah. The whole evolution line.
Because as we know, Pokemon often will change their personalities. If you'll recall from
Charizard.
Original. Exactly. Because Charmander was just a friendly little guy who he did have a lot of trauma, which he then brought forth as a Charmeleon and Charizard that never listened to Ash for the longest time. And now, Geese, in your favorite part of any episode of Pokemon, it's time for the biggest, most dramatic part of the battle. Time to Terastalize. Now, don't get excited, Clambos. They're not being goofballs like Fritos and doing sick little terastalizing tricks to change weaknesses. He just terastalizes into his own type. But that does make him stronger.
Still a very sick fight.
Actually, it's very important. Let me clarify something. Meowscarada is a grass and dark type. That Paldean Tauros is fighting type. As of right now, Meowscarada is incredibly weak to that Paldean Tauros.
Oh.
But if you terastalize into a grass type, you lose that weakness to fighting.
I hear terastalize, and every time my brain says he's making the word up. It sounds like unobtainium when I hear it.
No. So it's actually a very, very smart terastalization, because now the fighting attack moves from Tauros will no longer be 2 times effective.
I wonder if this can't be the first time he's tried that.
I'm sure they've terastalized before, just they didn't last time in the battle against Nemona. So then Nemona terastalizes her Tauros, and it's a fighting type terastalization. Oh my God. Double Edge, Dodge It, Dark Pulse, Acrobatics, Flower Trick, Close Combat, and ooh, I thought it was going to be Curtains, because Close Combat is a very, very powerful move that leaves the opponent, this is important to note, with very low defense afterwards. But it's very strong. And then we get, and I don't know if this is the case in English, but in Japanese, we get such a sick scene if you've played a lot of the games. We get the text, Meowscarada toughed it out so you wouldn't feel sad. Just like in the video games, the newer Pokemon games, there's a chance that if a move would knock you out, your Pokemon, if you're really close to them, you won't get knocked out. And instead, you'll get that message that said, your Pokemon toughed it out so you wouldn't feel sad. And
that's sick.
And it comes in clutch to all sorts of casual players just trying to beat a gym leader or beat the Elite Four.
It's weird because in English, she says that before they begin the fight again.
Before they fight?
Yeah.
Weird.
But it's a non-linear story, so you don't know. Maybe the whole fight's a flashback. Who's to say?
Anyway, it's so super sick. Meowscarada survives the attack, and Sophocles and O'Hara are just a cheering, and we get this giant, dramatic light, and we think we're gonna see the conclusion of the battle, but instead, Geese, the credits start to roll.
We get an advertisement.
I wonder who won the battle.
Who's to say?
Guess we'll find out next week.
Mm-hmm.
It started auto-playing, so I know, but I will not spoil. Lambos, I was excited about Paldean Win. Actually, let Geese or Taylor talk. I talked for too long. Go ahead. How did you feel about this episode? Geese.
I liked it.
Too dramatic.
Yeah.
And not in a fun way, where, like, it's earned the drama. I feel like I don't know these characters at all. The show is, like, trying to, like, convince me that, like, I should be moved by this and that, like, this is sick, but it doesn't have the payoff, the proper payoff.
Here's the thing. They do a cliffhanger. I don't think they earn the cliffhanger, and we don't get a conclusion. And the first episode was better. I'm sorry, Paldean wins.
When I watched the first episode, I thought, man, they're really going to be trying different stuff. And when I watched the second episode, I thought, man, the exact same little mini arc that I've seen in every single Pokemon. Just trainer gets mad at Pokemon, they reconcile just in time for a battle. And
I don't know if we've made it clear, though, the style of this anime, very, very different than Horizons. Would you like to speak on that, Geese, since you weren't here last week? The difference.
I don't like it, to be honest. I find it too busy. It's the same style as those Japanese commercials for McDonald's.
Ooh, I love them.
I find it too busy. I also feel like the animation just looks kind of cheap because it's like computerized, like 3D animation. I don't know. Like, I feel like not cheap. It's not fluid. It feels jarring to me, and not in a good way.
That's so interesting to me because it looks way more expensive than Horizons, like 1,000,000 times more expensive.
It is different. It is definitely different.
I'll grant it. It does. Cheap was not the right word. It does look more expensive, but I don't think it's using that money in a to a great way to further the story.
Here's the thing: if this series was airing around the time you had a real terrible anime going, like the black and white anime, then I would say, oh yeah, it's the sickest thing ever made, because it's taken itself really seriously, much more serious than Horizons, I think.
Way too serious.
But I don't think Paldean Win so far is as good as the other Poketoons, the just super, super sick shorts they made about like the little girl in the Nidoran and the ghost house and the cute little Slugma and him loving his family. Those were all so top tier, S rank, unbelievable Pokemon entertainment.
Something that Geese said earlier that I thought was really apt was they expect us to care about these characters. And this is, so far, we've watched this for like a total of 20 minutes.
Correct.
And I would like this series a lot more if it was released before Scarlet and Violet to get interest instead of after.
I'm also confused as to why having like 3 main characters for these short episodes. Why not just focus on Flute Girl or Ponytail Guy? Like, why?
Well, Paldean Wins is specifically created, as we know by the advertisement, to sell more copies of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. That's why at the end of the episodes, it gives you a new giveaway. It gives you a code or tells you this thing you can download for Scarlet and Violet. And it's trying to say, here are the 3 starters of Paldea. Play the game.
It's very funny because Sophocles is basically a phone.
So what's his real name? Homo?
Connor or something?
His name can't be
Connor. Yeah, it's Connor.
No, not everybody's Scottish.
His name is Homa. Homa is Sophocles' name, just so we're clear. I think the art is super, super sick, actually. I think Kilowattrel flying around and little baby Gimmighoul running around and Satitan looking terrifying. I think the first episode was good, actually. This one was not as good as the first one. If I had to give it a score, sure, we'll do 7.0. 7.0. Taylor, what's your score of the week?
I would actually give it the same.
7.0, and then Geese's was 6.5? Or no, you gave a score for episode 1 is 6.5, so you're probably going to throw this one down the gutter.
Yeah, this one's a 6.
That's okay. Above average.
No, Taylor, we do the video game score, which is
7. Average. Whoa.
7 is maybe you'll play it if it's $5. Anything under 7 is trash, never play it. 8 is good, 9 is amazing, and 10 is Ocarina of Time and Last of Us.
I just don't like the fact that they are saying, here are all these really big emotional moments they did in episode 1. They're doing it here. Trust us, you really care about these. And we're thinking, well, I not really. We don't even have the names down yet. And they're saying, no, you do.
I don't think we ever are going to get the names down.
How many episodes is it supposed to be?
It's only 4.
No.
They only release 1 a month. So we're actually, our timing here is impeccable because we're going to record episode 4 shortly after it comes out. And it's going to work out pretty well.
So sick.
Episode 1 came out forever ago.
I'm excited to see Sophocles' episode.
Me too. I think it's the next one.
Sorry. Yeah, it has to be. And then the last one is, I guess, all of them.
The last one will be Flute Girl and her daddy issues.
Well, don't worry. We'll get back to Liko and Roy soon enough. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
I'd imagine it's the holidays right about now. Geese, why don't you take us into the wrap-up so I can get to playing some Pokemon DLC too? Ooh.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can find us at social media at Look, Listen, Cast on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you to Keith for our artwork. You can find him at twitch.tv/KeithSquared.
Shouts out Professor Ticklebits for the website and Taylor.
Boilerplate.
You can follow him on twitch.tv/prof_ticklebits. Make sure to watch his Game of the Year stream on January 6th. Who's got some games of the year? Probably Geese.
Oh.
Thank you to all our supporters. You can support us by going to looklistencast.com or just clicking a link on the podcast feed if you listen there. Please recommend this podcast to your friends and family for the holidays. All the little cousins can listen around the campfire. I mean, fire inside the house. The chimney fire? What do you call the little fire in your house?
It is a Yule log? Is that not a dessert?
It's also a dessert.
Ooh, everybody
It's
eat the Yule log.
Clambos, it's snowing outside. Your Christmas tree is up. You turn on the campfire, but it's inside. So it's in your house fire. Well, don't have a house fire, but
don't do that. Pretend.
All ages. No swears, no innuendo.
Don't start fires.
Please send your questions so we can answer them to looklistencast@gmail.com, much like Artie Fine did this week with the subject line, Deck the Halls with Boughs of Hoppip. Got him. Artie Fine asks, if you were to get stranded on an uncharted island for 1 year, and you wouldn't have to worry about resources, but you could only take one item to keep yourself entertained until the rescue hovercraft. I like how it's a hovercraft. The rescue hovercraft arrives. What would you take?
I would take a dog because I need the companionship and also it can help me hunt and stuff.
Oh, that's smart.
Poor Aaron. He gets replaced with a dog. So one dog is Geese's answer.
Yeah, one dog. One more mouse to feed.
You can play. They have resources, Taylor, so there's plenty of kibble.
Does that mean electronics too?
You can bring an electronic.
So I could bring like a Steam Deck? Because that's what I wanted to say with Steam Deck.
Make sure your Steam Deck, make sure the one thing that you're bringing is a Steam Deck case full of Steam Decks, some sort of solar-powered battery supply you can plug the Steam Deck into.
That falls under resources, though, huh?
I was thinking like food and water.
Yeah, but he said resources are no issue.
Maybe a bed.
You could make a bed. I feel like it would be kind of cool to get like a bed full of like palm fronds.
Yes. You're going to make beds like in Lost. Lost comes up more often than you might suspect in this podcast, I've realized.
It's a very underrated show.
Okay, so Geese Beep, you're going to play fetch for a whole year.
I think I would bring a really like very, very large notebook and a pencil or a pen.
What if I learned to play an instrument? That's what I would spend the year learning, already fine. So
you could that would be so sick.
I would learn instruments and languages.
Because
one item.
Yeah. Learn languages.
Can you tell me the item I own that has instruments and languages?
School.
I guess
phone.
It's a phone with a Starlink attached to it, so it would have internet, I guess.
But the sick thing would be people would say, oh, I'm going to go to this thing. And you would say, I play the instrument. And they say, oh, wow. And you would say, I'm self-taught. I learned on a desert island.
Wow. That was an uncharted island.
Yeah, deserted island. There used to be people, but they ran away.
You said desert island.
Uncharted desert island.
I don't know if there's a desert, but I was picturing the dog and Geese Peep playing on the beach.
Yeah. Beach.
Never going to hear her complaining. Oh, Geese did a little smile. You're never going to hear her complain again about not going to the beach when she's stranded with the dog.
Oh yeah.
What breed of dog is it?
Good question.
A golden retriever? They're so friendly.
It could be an Arctic uncharted island as well.
An Arctic dog.
So you could bring like a husky.
Like a German Shepherd or a Malamute.
Or maybe a rat terrier in case there's rats on the island.
Mm-hmm. Or you need bitten by the dog you've been raising.
Need bitten by the dog you've been raising.
Mm-hmm.
Is any of that Linglish?
Almost. It's almost Linglish.
Ain't beaten with the dog you've been biting. Eat bitten by the dog you've been
I want to read a book that's just titled "When Dogs Bite Back."
Why are you biting your dog? Geese, maybe it's time for you to say goodbye to all of us.
Okay.
All right.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Pete. Thank you for listening to the Geese Pete Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.